Okay, for our first model for our advanced SketchUp class, let's take a look at the space that we're going to be modeling. We're going to put on our architect hat for a moment, at least for the first section of this, and we're going to work on a pool building that we're going to be doing some other things too later on in the course. But for this first section, we just want to focus on building it. So what I've done is I've given you guys some plans, one of which is for your reference. So let's take a look at the first plan. We're going to be building this space right in here, this pool area. Okay, this is the overall full plan. I've taken away all the information that links it to any firm. But we're just going to focus on this little area right in here. It's actually kind of a big area because it contains a big pool. But we're going to work on later on making this into a couple different options for different types of spaces. You also have a plan called Plan for Model. This is what we're going to use. This, I'm enlarging. This is the area we're going to be working on here. So we're going to be able to bring this plan into our model, and we're going to dimension and draw off of the plan. We're treating it like we've gone and we've looked at the space, and now we are going to, with the plans given to us by the building, use those as a great reference point. I'm also assuming that we, in our fantasy version of this project, we've gone in and we've field verified all these measurements. So because we have a nicely dimensioned to scale drawing, we don't have to import our own sketch or make it from scratch. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the, before we look at the elevations, let's take a look at some of the photos. Let me go ahead and pull up the elevations here first and foremost. All right. So this is our elevation A, and this is piece one. So we're gonna use these photos for a lot of reference. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through them quickly. You can do this also. I would recommend maybe even printing these out or having these in their own folder so that you can reference them as you're working on the model. I'll of course be modeling this with you. This is our other elevation on the opposite wall. So you can see that on our first wall, we have a lot of stone, and we've got some different materials we can work with. And then as we move on, we're going to have a lot of glazing. So this is kind of a little bit of a more modern space. We're going to work with some components because we've got some repeat elements. We've got this little spa area here that kind of is its own little section. I'm not going to worry as much about this up in the top corner of the skylight, but we'll just kind of let that fall off. Okay, and then in this elevation, we can see that there's a little office here. We've got a couple doors. Opposite elevation, we've also got a huge glazing wall. The reason I chose this building is because it's a pretty good size space, and we're going to be able to use a lot of some of the more advanced gestures to make this. We've got a curved ceiling, which I think adds a little bit of interest. We've got a cantilevered wall happening here. We've got a lot of glass, and we've got a lot of great repeat elements. So that's kind of just looking through our overall shots. Let's take a look at some of the other pictures here. Let's go with our panoramic here. So again, this is just another shot that kind of shows you a good chunk of the space in a panoramic photo. And then I've got some detailed photos that we'll be looking at too, just to kind of as we're working some of this out. The idea here is that we have gone to this space, we've taken some photos, we've taken some notes, we have a good plan, and that's what we're going to use to recreate this space. And then we're going to take it to another level after that. I also took a photo of some of the material, some of the conditions at the windows. So there's a lot of good reference to work with. Let's take a look at our elevations as well. Okay, we've got in our plans folder. This is just a quick sketch that was done at the space that kind of shows some of the really critical heights. We'll definitely be referencing this while we put the model together. Okay, so just a quick introduction to the space that we're going to be building. And in the next video, we're going to launch right into making it. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I say in the next video, jumping the gun here, let's take a look at the model really fast just for reference. I have just a quick example here that I've already built up. We're actually going to take the model a little further than I have it here, but this is helpful to kind of get a visual on what it is, where it is we're headed. Okay, so I've got a couple scenes set up. We'll definitely make some scenes. We're gonna do some layers as well. In my first shot, it's just a basic, easy to snap to perspective that has the roof taken away so that I can look down into it and I can use this to work. If I want to unhide things, I can shift U to unhide everything, and I can start to rehide what it is I want to hide, and I've got things grouped. I've got some components happening. I've got a plan that I can hide if I want. Look at the pool itself. I've also got a shot that's just the plan itself, so I can see that I've brought the plan that was given to me by the building into SketchUp and was able to use this plan to draw the model up pretty accurately. And then I just have a couple views that I've created so that I can pop to some of the more critical points of the model where I can see the most I can possibly see. So this is about how far we want to get with the model to start off, and then we're going to take it a little further than this. But this is just a good introduction of where it is we'll be headed, so we're not kind of building in the dark. Okay, so wrap your head around that, and in the next video we're going to get started by bringing the plan in, and we're going to start building the model up from there.